What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Kona. Day 1, my name is Splattercat. Very happy to have you here as we hang out in the Canadian tundra in the Canadian North, in order to find out what happened to a mining magnate who had hired us to sort of be his investigator and bodyguard. Unfortunately, we got here a little bit too late. This is where we were supposed to meet him. And it looks like the place was turned over by a bear. So unfortunately, we're just trying to find our way out of this. I think we're a little bit alone right now, though, and it is quite chilly outside. God, I love the way your character's eyes adjust. Have you noticed that while we've been playing? Every time we go outside, if we go from a dark location to a light location, he gets white blinded real fast, and then his eyes slowly adjust. Careful attention to visual detail there, and I like it. I don't know if this lumber is for sale. Like, why would a general store need this much lumber? I guess maybe they supply lumber for repairs. They sell firewood or something. Is there anything in the trailer? I don't see anything useful. It's another one of those icy things, though. Looks like there's a trail. That goes back inside. Oh, that goes back inside the house, so the trail goes. Ah, see? Now we're on to something. I knew it wouldn't be that confusing. I knew we could handle it. I knew we could take it. Alright, then. Let's go ahead. Let's have a look here.
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
An insolvable accident? Over the last few days, a lack of resources forced the death investigation of Pierre Bly to come to a halt. The autopsy of the body conducted over the last few weeks didn't reveal any clue that could have helped investigators, who refused to comment on what would happen next. This new development is happening in the context of the hypothesis of an accident. Oh my god. That was a hell of a sentence right there, which is still, in spite of skepticism expressed by the local population, the ongoing official cause of death provided by the authorities. The incident is said to have occurred in the forest surrounding Lake Atamapek. Pierre Bly was found lifeless 2 weeks ago near a footpath leading to the soon-to-be-restarted copper mine. Bly, an engineer by training who was working on behalf of the consortium headed by William Hamilton, was reportedly in charge of the development plans surrounding the reopening of the mine. At first, the police had disclosed that the body had been desecrated. Today, the official version is that it was partly devoured by beasts, hence the original assumption that a crime had been committed. Okay. It seems like we're getting kind of chilly right now. Yeah, our cold meter's looking a little rough at the moment. It's looking a little iffy. See if we can get ourselves warmed up for a minute before we follow that path out into the middle of nowhere, because I don't want to freeze to death. I've noticed the car gives you warmth, so if we get back in here, we should start to thaw out a little bit. Hopefully pretty rapidly. I don't know how long this is going to take, but my hope would be pretty quickly. It looks like the meter doesn't actually work while the menu is open, so maybe the game's paused. We'll just give it a little 10 count here. We're inside of our Chevrolet. Just in case you wanted to get off-brand with it, Chevrolet. It's a car that's kind of like a Chevy. We're good. Alright, let's get out of the car. Our warmth is all back and ready to go. Obviously, our heater is working. What we want to do now is we're going to follow this trail on out along the outskirts of the building. Now, we want to be very, very careful in this situation because visibility is low. You don't want to get disoriented and get yourself into trouble. And that is something that happens to people all the time. Everybody thinks it won't happen to them when they're out in nature. But for real, getting disoriented and then panicking is responsible for like a massive number of deaths with random survivalist hikers and stuff like that who get off the beaten trail. What is it? Oh, there's a rifle. Is that an Enfield? What is that? Busted as shit is what it is. Man, something bent the hell out of that gun.
Carl wondered what the hell could that thing be. It looked like a man fossilized in ice. All of a sudden, Carl felt like he was pulled inside a world of dreams, a cold, unknown dimension. Somehow, self-control was slipping from his grasp.
What is going on? Tripping balls. Apparently he was frozen inside of a block of LSD. I knew I should have just touched it and I shouldn't have licked it. Man, my licking investigative skills are really getting me into trouble this time. Guess we'll follow his trail backward. Oh shit, no. Good dog. Bad dog. Don't bite me. No.
To all appearances, this was a hunting log. Better yet, a war diary.
The beast enjoys long slumbers. Its sanctuary seems impregnable, ice is everywhere, and I need to exercise patience and wait for it to come out, to think like a hunter. The beast often invades the settlements bordering the lake. It terrorizes the white people. They never see it coming, but they feel its presence. A cold dread grabbing at your innards. The beast excites the wolves, makes them more aggressive. One attacked me and I had to cut its throat. The blade digging into its flesh made the sound of a taut wire. The beast is getting closer to the villagers. It moves at night, bringing heavy snow and strong gusts of wind along with it. I tracked it, but to no avail. I do not know the white man frozen in ice, but I do know this. It is the work of the beast. Its attacks curdle the blood of its victims. White men know nothing of this force of nature. I touched the ice imprisoning the white man. I saw things, but I don't understand them. Yeah, you could definitely say shit's getting weird. Things have become odd. When before they were... Nope, more wolves. They were remarkably even. We lost the trail. Oh, wait, no. Looks like there's something right here.
What could these engraved numbers mean? A fresh path suddenly appeared before Carl.
739 is what it says on it. Is that a key holder, maybe? I'm not sure what that is. Looks like it's a tube. I don't know if we can actually activate it and find something inside of it. Let's follow the trail and we'll deal with it in just a minute. I don't want to get overwhelmed with details and random things that we need to do. I want to stay on task here. Although I'm starting to get the feeling that I may not have a choice. More ghost wolves. Huh. Alright.
Carl had that feeling you get when you immerse your frozen hands in hot water. What happened? Now at least he knew who the unfortunate man petrified in ice was. Jill Lachance, the general store's manager himself.
Yep. Found his driver's license. Wait, was this the car that was quote-unquote parked? Yeah, it is. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. Let's head back, and I want to see if anything in the general store matches the 739 that we just found. Although if somebody dropped it, might have been the Native American guy. Would you call them Native Canadians then? Or since we're all part of North America, would it still be Native American? Who knows? Terminology is confusing. Are any of these 739? They all appear to be pretty locked. These are all in the early hundreds. So I don't think any of them are going to be of use. It may be time to break off our investigation of this place. Let me take a look at it in my inventory, though. See if we can't figure out what the hell that thing is. Is it not in here? Did we actually pick it up? Hold on a minute. Let's go back out there. I don't know if we actually picked up the thing by the snow or if it was part of the hallucination. But I think from the direction we came, the campfire should be right over here. There we go. So I wonder if we backtrack over here, if we could pick it up again. Doesn't look like we can. We can't start a fire. Oh, there's a backpack over here. Is that matches? And a fire starter's kit. Okay, we don't have any wood for right now. Oh. Well, there you go. Let's start a fire. So we need 2 wood. We need a fire starter. And we need matches. Hey, we got ourselves a fire. Just in case you were worried about freezing to death. I don't think a fire is going to help that much in weather like this. Neither is a flashlight. I'd be pretty horribly worried being out in nature by myself. Wolves don't love human beings, but if they see one of us alone, I wouldn't put it past them, especially if they're one of the bigger, nastier breeds. Well, I mean, if that helps you warm up, I think we can save by fires too or something like that. Yeah, you can only save when you're near a heat source as far as I know. So there's poor Gilles Lachance over there. Gilles Lachance. Got a fancy sounding name. Alright, well it might be time to quit ourselves at the general store. There's a lot of places you can go in this game. And in fact, you are free to roam as much as you desire. Oh no, a tree came down. Was that tree there before? Maybe a tree came down and took out the line? Seems vaguely possible. I don't know though. I'm not good at this kind of stuff. Back inside our vehicle. Well, let's take a look at the map. Let's see what else there is to investigate here. So we've got 3 houses behind us, we've got 1 house in front of us, and then it looks like we can take a leftward route to go after those 3 houses that are surrounding the lake. Hopefully find some survival supplies, because I think we're going to be out here for a little bit. It might be a decent idea to double back and hit the stuff back behind us first and just kind of keep this thing linear. And so we'll start kind of down at the bottom, and then we'll go up and around like I just did with the camera. Just hit everything in its due sequence. I don't know if we have to worry about gas for the truck. Let me flip a bitch right here. We'll go back. You can drive while looking at the map. It's dangerous, but you can do it. So it looks like we've got a bit of a ways before we're actually going to be at our first target, so let's continue. Looks like the weather has calmed down slightly. I mean, it still seems like it's pretty frigid outside, but at least we're not getting all gusty and shit anymore. Probably take this house on the left first, have a look at it, and then we'll go down the street and try to get the one on the right and see where we end up. My assumption is that much like there were things at the general store that were all connected and they all interacted with one another, my guess is that each of these houses is going to have separate little bits and bobs, and we'll be able to use those at the other houses in order to get things that we need. So there's the house. Put the map away real fast. Let's go ahead and... I think that's a trailer. Actually, I thought it was a car that was endoed, but looks like it's a trailer. There's also a road that goes off that way, which is marked. It looks like they've actually got their own little turnstile kind of roundabout deal over here. I don't know if it's worth it to go all the way down the road or not. They've also got a missing fence post right here. Wonder if that leads towards anything. I'm a little nervous about keeping my bearings. So if I seem a little paranoid every time I leave the beaten path, please bear with me in the most bearish of ways. Alright, well, let's go investigate the house. I don't really see anything over there. It's just an expanse of white. I am deeply uncomfortable in snow. What you're witnessing right now is what happens when you put Hawaiian people in snow. We just feel confused. We don't know what to do with this. We're like, there's something unnatural about this. Give me back my sunshine. Give me back my rain. So we got a wood pile over here. Doesn't look like we can collect from it, though. So maybe it's only dried wood that we could take. I'm going to do a quick circle around the house first, just to ensure that we don't miss anything outdoors. I don't really see anything over here. Ooh, window's frozen over. Oh, there's a lady in there. Holy shit. Alright. Ooh. A magnet? What do I need a magnet for? That's a big-ass magnet, too. That's one of those, like, super powerful ones that your granddad had out in the garage for some reason because he thought it was a... Is that a sinkhole right there? What is that? Hold on. This looks interesting, and I want to know. What in the hell? You're like a collapsed mine shaft. You tend to find stuff like this, so when you're out in the middle of nowhere where there's been mining excavations before, on occasion you may come across something like this. What it normally means, there might be spray paint on the rocks around it. What it normally means is a geological firm or a geological explorer or an engineer has come through and they're looking for minerals. They're looking for anything valuable, and so what they'll do is they'll take some readings when they get out in the field for like sulfur or copper or iron or whatever it is they're looking for. Take them back to the lab, they'll investigate it, and if the results come back for the lab positive on whatever they want, but the surface levels are not high enough, what they might do is they'll dig a hole and they'll bury a bunch of dynamite in it, and they'll blow a chunk out of the side of the hill like that. When you go down to Southern California, if you ever walk around in the mountains around like Lahontan, or if you ever go down to, oh, I don't know, right around Emigrant Pass, like the border between California and Nevada. Oh, we can get wood from right here. Nothing gives me wood like a wood pile. Let's get inside. And anyways, when you get down in there...
The air was freezing, right down to the bone.
Let's investigate the house second. Let's see what's going on with this thing.
Carl felt a cool, tingling sensation in his back. Another vision took over him.
Appears as though every time we find one of these crystals, it enters us into a vision of what, like, happened before.
Something was hidden under the stairs. The man grabbed his rifle. Carl felt a sense of dread in him.
Must be a pretty short rifle if it'll fit inside of there. I'd keep it on like a wall mount or something. Keep the gun on the... If there's gonna be wolves around, I want the gun readily accessible. Keep it right by the front door or something. Put it on a gun rack when I go to bed.
Perhaps their spousal relationship had been cooling down lately.
Must be the ghostly glowing eyes. I know if I came home and my husband's eyes were glowing, I'd just be like, it's getting a little weird for me. What are you, an X-Man? Let's cool it down a little bit, Spiffy. Let's cool it down a little bit.
It seemed like secrecy was commonplace in this house. The vision's veil was lifted, and he was back to reality. A reality in which Giselle, Jill's loving spouse, was motionless, frozen in ice.
September. Mother once told me when I first met Gilles, that I hadn't picked the brightest bulb of the lot, and as the years fly by, I'm seeing the truth of her words. Always trust your mother's wisdom. That blackmailing scheme is a prime example of Gilles' brightness. He's like a small dog. He thinks he's bigger than he actually is. He growls, genuinely thinking that he's scary, but everybody knows he can be pushed aside with just a little kick. He actually believes he can blackmail Hamilton, the big boss himself. It's going to be a long time in hell before my poor Gilles can manage to pull off such a feat. After all, Hamilton's a rich, learned, and influential man. Not only is that blackmailing idea bad to begin with, but let's be honest, Gilles' out of his league right now. But Gilles doesn't even know that doesn't even know how he's actually going to carry this out. I don't even think he ever would. He's just throwing random threats out loud in the kitchen. He says he'll do it eventually, but I know better. Successful blackmailing requires masterful cunning, and Gilles is a master of nothing at all. He's a slave and forever will be. I often look at the safe he keeps hidden in the fake wall in which he stores all those incriminating documents he intends to use, and I just can't come to grips with the sheer ridiculousness of the whole thing. So that could explain why Gilles got himself taken care of. Are those kittens? Kittens! Look at them. They're so adorable. I just want to cuddle. I just want to rub them on my face as they protest and they're like, meh, because they don't want you to do it. But I'm like, no, kitty, you will be rubbed on my face. So we got a bottle of pills just in case we want to do some drugs in the Canadian North. Strong odor of paint dissolver. Huh.
Looks like the holes in that puzzle are there to stay.
Yeah, sort of a metaphor for our situation, isn't it? Nothing's hanging on the peg. You know, it seems like just about everybody around here has one of these little key racks. I should probably keep an eye open for it. The switch is reversed. That would irritate me after about 12 seconds. I'm like, alright, we need to fix that switch. That switch needs, the up needs to be on and the down needs to be off. Negative, positive. On's a good thing. Off is a bad thing. Although I suppose it's relative. Actually, sort of devoid of anything useful, aren't they? Nada in there. Yep. Looks like we essentially have nothing to go after. We can, however, light a fire if we really want to. I don't have a lot of matches or anything, though, so I don't think it's a wise idea. Can I eat the bread? Eat that stale bread! I am the controller of the player character, and I demand... Oh, more people got Apple Jocks. Everybody loves Apple Jocks. Who doesn't love Apple Jocks? I am the player character, and I demand that you eat that stale bread for my entertainment. Amuse me, Surf! Amuse me. Oh, got our hands on some meat, finally. What an adventure. What an adventure. Apparently they keep a cigarette in the fridge, too, just in case you like to smoke them cold. I knew a guy that used to do that. He had a stone pipe that he would smoke out of, and he put it in the freezer first because he liked it. He said it made the smoke... He said it made the smoke, like, refreshing and cool. I never did it, to be honest. Can I take that tomato right there? Pobre tomato.
The pot was cold, and the stew inside wasn't cooked. It's likely that poor Giselle was slow cooking it before she got snapped. What a waste.
I was gonna say, shouldn't you cover it if you're slow cooking it? But sure enough, there's the lid. I'm sorry, Giselle. You know more about cooking than I gave you credit for.
Carl deduced that the poor woman imprisoned in the ice was the wife of Gilles Lachance. Could cold alone do this?
That lady's dead as hell. Ain't nothing we can do for her. Sucks to be you. Got dominoes and some... See? That's what happened. They gave in to sin and vice. Started playing them bones. Started throwing them dice. Yep. That's what happens in the Canadian North. You start shooting dice and all of a sudden you call down a Native American curse on yourself. Careful with them dice.
Carl had seen that kind of safe before. With its double-layered security system blending letters and numbers, its code couldn't be broken by the common burglar.
I wonder if the 739... Because if that was... We don't know if that was Gilles' necklace. It might have been the Native American guys next to the fire, or it might have been Gilles'. But that actually wouldn't be too difficult to brute force. If the number is 739, you could just go through and try every letter if you really wanted to. I mean, it wouldn't take too long, I don't think, aside from the retyping it over and over and over again. It worked. I honestly did not expect that to work. I'm a little surprised right now. I felt the same way when I guessed my parents' router password. My parents used to lock me off the internet when they weren't home. And so I guessed their router password. And I never told them. It was a pretty hard password, too. It was Rockville Manor, from what I recall. And I guessed it. That was their name for their... They had a tent trailer that they would go camping in. And I sat there for like 45 minutes just thinking about what the password might be. And then I tried Rockville Manor with no caps, and bam. There it was. Never underestimate the ingenuity of somebody that has an infinite amount of time to fiddle with a problem. To whoever is reading this, this document contains all the pieces of evidence proving that Hamilton bribed federal authorities as part of his acquisitions of the damn mine. He used henchmen to intimidate members of the local populace, is unlikely to get the attention of Montreal's courthouses. However, if it would so happen that some ministers saw their palms greased up to the hilt, it would certainly be another story entirely. What a headline that would make. The English are all the same, and we shall prevail. Oh yeah, I don't know if I ever mentioned that. Hamilton's English. And so add to the fact, he's an outsider who's buying up all their land. He's not even, like, Canadian. He's not from here. He's an English magnate. And so, you know what kind of social problems erupt from that? What is this? Bertrand Lachance. I assume that's Gilles' father. Well, We're just about out of time for the day. This attic is...
A mess. Clearly, there was some major revamping work underway here. The place looked barely habitable.
Yeah, this place is creepy as hell. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me for the next episode of Kona. I'll see you all in future episodes. Bye, everybody.